There's so much to talk about with regards to the media, headlines, and real estate. So welcome to Media Headlines 101. Now, news and media can be a very beneficial medium if you want to find out what's happening in the world or the latest local news or weather or sports. But when it comes to real estate news and real estate updates, very often the headlines in the news can be very misleading. I was giving a talk last week for a group of people. And in preparation for my talk, I printed off some recent articles, all from within only 2 weeks of that talk. And just one of the headlines, for example, said something like, the Canadian real estate market is seeing the biggest gains or the biggest losses or whatever it reported on, and then the article continued. As I looked into the article further, here's what I found that was very interesting. It was written by an analyst from the United States, and justified and supported by statistics mostly derived from Calgary. Now, the first thing you should remind yourself is, what is a market? You see, right here in the GTA, there's a different market for empty nesters than there is for first-time buyers or for middle-aged people with their trophy home and their kids and their pets. There's a different market for condo buyers and sellers than there is for detached dwellings. There's a different market within Thornhill, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, Keswick, Georgina, or Mississauga, or downtown Forest Hill area, or Scarborough and Oshawa. So there are different markets for certain demographics, meaning ages and stages of life. There are different markets based on geographic region. There are different markets based on type of dwelling. So if a headline says the market is up 5% or down 7%, that's an overall average that might have nothing to do with what you might be selling or buying in the future. Specifically, there might be less demand by first-time home buyers, for example, at a certain point in time in the downtown core, depending on interest rates or required down payments or their ability to get financed. So if you were thinking of selling a condo down there, it might affect you. But empty nesters looking for a multi-million-dollar condo on Bloor Street or Yorkville, well, they could still have as much demand for their product or more demand for their product than supply at any given time. So if you're thinking of selling a multi-million-dollar condo, the market could be higher than ever. If people are migrating in droves to a certain suburb or neighborhood or community, then the headlines might say the market is going in one direction, for example, but the market in that suburb or neighborhood or community might be totally different and going in a different direction. And finally, anytime you see a headline that says or starts with the word Canadian real estate market versus Toronto real estate market, it isn't even an average of our city, but rather an average of the whole country. And do you really think that whatever's happening with the real estate market in Calgary or Saskatoon or Halifax or Moncton should in any way serve as an indicator of what's happening here in the GTA? Obviously not. So, if you really want accurate and reliable information about what's going on in real estate or how the market's doing, and more importantly, in the areas that might affect where you might sell or buy one day, if that time comes, then you really should speak to a realtor who you trust, who really understands market data and is very active with buyers and sellers in those areas so that they're in the know and they see what's going on firsthand each and every day. So as a full-time realtor myself, I get asked every day whenever I bump into people or talk to someone, the most famous question is, how's the market? And I often hear other realtors answering that question with things like, oh, the market is booming, or the market is hot right now, or the market's a little quiet, but it's to be expected for the season. When I'm mentoring new realtors, I teach them to answer that question differently, or more specifically, the way that I answer the question, which is, when people ask me, how's the market? I always respond with, it depends if you're buying or selling or investing or renting, and it depends where. I love the doctor analogy. If you see a doctor at a dinner party and you say, why does my shoulder hurt? And they give you an answer right on the spot. Well, let's just say diagnosis without analysis is malpractice. Normally a doctor should tell you to make an appointment, come in for an examination, ask you all sorts of questions, and then they can accurately diagnose what they think might be wrong. So the same goes for real estate or any other professional advisor. I always recommend that when when you read real estate headlines, you take them with a grain of salt. And if you really want to know, then speak to a realtor you trust who knows the market as it applies to you and your interests. Because whatever the news is reporting, even if it is accurate data, in the most general sense, it might be totally irrelevant to you specifically. Remember, when it comes to real estate or any other experience or process in life, you have to ask yourself, if there was a better way, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? If you're the type of person who's always curious about the market or value of your home or real estate in general and where it's going, just click on the subscribe button, because I'm always uploading market updates and lots of tips and suggestions to help you with real estate questions. And if you have any questions about buying or selling, mortgages, investing, the real estate market in general, I love to talk about it. So just send me an email with your questions or to set up a phone call. My email's mike@TheREguy.ca. It's always confidential, and I love to talk real estate with you. So don't hesitate, and there's never any obligation, so don't worry. And hey, before you go, please click on the thumbs up button so that maybe this video can help other people with the same questions or concerns and interests. Thanks for watching.